Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Pew and The Porch podcast, where we have real conversations, real faith, and real life. I'm Lauren, and today we're talking about something that affects almost everyone at some point in their lives: dating and healthy relationships. Now, before anyone gets nervous, this isn't a dating seminar, and nobody's here to tell you who you should date or when you should date. Our goal is to have an honest conversation about building healthy relationships that honor God, respect ourselves, and bring the best out of one another. Whether you're in high school, college, engaged, single, or just trying to figure things out, we're glad that you're here. Joining me today are four amazing voices with four different perspectives from four different walk of lives. First up, we have our high school student, Princeton. Hello. Princeton, I want to ask you, what has dating and relationships looked like from your perspective as a high schooler?
Dating. Well, dating. Well, first let's talk about the definition. Of dating. Dating obviously is when you're obviously in a relationship. You like the person, obviously, and you think you want to have a good rest of your life with that person. Experiencing a young life of love, basically. But dating in high school, I've seen like high school relationships with my friends. They kind of don't go well, not to make anyone who is in high school scared and stuff, but dating in high school, you really got to know how to like slash love someone, because dating isn't just about how that person looks. It's how are you and that person connected. How are you and that person actually feel about each other. Is it just about the looks, or is it just about how they what they got, or is it about, do y'all really feel each other? Do y'all really Are y'all really a match? you know like a puzzle. If you put the wrong piece in, y'all just ain't made. It just don't go there. If y'all ain't the right match, y'all ain't really it. So I just look at dating as in high school. You really gotta like pay attention, to what how that person acts, around you, and how they not act around you. You just gotta be careful.
Okay. Transitioning to the next phase of life, we have Angel Riley. She is currently a college student. So, Angel, you've experienced another season of life. Tell us what relationships look like on a college campus.
Um, I say they're very different just because like you get your first taste of like adulthood when you go away from your family. So like when you're away, you get to have more freedom. So like you don't have to follow the same set of rules you did like when you stayed with your parents. So like I think it just makes relationships a little bit more complex because it's so much more like available in a sense, like especially when you leave the state. It's like so many different personalities. These are people that you've never encountered before, different walks of life, different things that they bring into a relationship. And that's like a little scary in a sense when you first go. My experience when I first came to college, I was with the boy I was with from high school, but then we ended up, you move on from things like that. But dating in college, I feel, is just like more so you just have to really be careful about who you like open yourself up to in a sense, just because like it is different. Not everybody has like the purest intentions with you, and being that you are mixing age groups together, it's also very different. Being 18, talking to somebody that has been in college for 2 years, like that's a little different. So it gets a little scary. You really got to be like very wary and like know what you expect for yourself, because not everybody's gonna have the same expectation, or um I should say like what they view a relationship as. So like I think that's part of like the biggest things for real as far as dating in college.
Okay. And next up, we have our engaged young adult, Miss Brandy Johnson. You're preparing for marriage. Yay. What have you learned that you wish someone had told you years ago?
Um, let's see. I think for me it's a little bit different. So, I'm engaged to a guy that I've known for 20 years of my life. So it's kind of like a difference. Like we met at church, see him all the time, and then recently started that like intentional process. And so I think if somebody would have told me like 15 years ago, 20 years ago, um, I guess to I guess to be a like have an open mindset. Like everything is not going to be cut in, like like you're not going to have like all your check boxes or however you decide. Um, to like I want this person to be tall and athletic and everything. It's not all about that. I can promise you. But it's I think lo- loaded question, but definitely remember to keep on loving on yourself. Like yourself is the most important of relationship. Don't forget that part when dating somebody else. So
Okay.
loving on yourself.
And lastly, we have River Maisha. She's joining us today as our spiritual voice. She's here to help us keep God's perspective at the center of the conversation. So, River Maisha, I want to ask if you had any opening comments regarding like our spiritual love and who we are on the inside.
So I liked what Brandy said. First, you have to love yourself. You can't
Mm-hmm.
get involved in a relationship expecting someone to help you figure out what it is to love on yourself. So you have to learn to date yourself first. That's the fun part. You have to learn to what things do you like, what things keep you focused, what things keep you happy. Being wanting someone else to develop that for you means you're dependent on them, and you don't want to be dependent on them. But then again, since we're faith based, right? Do they have God first in their life? Is this someone who you can grow with? Is this someone you can pray with? Is this someone who has your best interest in heart, dealing with your spiritual needs? Because we all come together on different spiritual levels, right? So if he's just learning the Bible, is it something that you all can grow with together? Can you give him a way that you study, so that you all can study together and that you all learn together? Or her, sorry, Princeton. um, um, or there's things that you just want to make sure you ask God to give you discernment, because sometimes, like Brandy said, we go for that person who we thought we needed or we thought we liked, and God is like, but the person you've been sitting right next to them your whole life, and you just haven't looked at them because they don't check your boxes. So we ask God for discernment when we're dating, because we don't want to go for the superficial, right? We want to go for what's deep inside, and how they treat you emotionally, how they treat you physically, and how they connect with you spiritually.
Thank you. All right, moving on to our first segment. Everybody wants love, but what does healthy look like in a relationship? So, when you hear the words healthy relationship, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Casey,
Trust.
trust. Okay.
I was gonna say communication.
Yeah.
Mm,
I say
communicate.
respect. I feel like if you don't have respect for one yourself initially, and then respect for the other person, it's never gonna go anywhere. But,
I say flexibility.
Mm, okay.
Flexibility. You're two
So,
different people.
what
Hmm.
would we say is the difference between a healthy relationship and one that just looks good on social media?
That perfect picture. Y'all always look like you
They
smiling. You always
they
looking at each other like,
they
"Oh, we in this thing. We love each other."
their
Um,
Instagram little profile that they be that chat GPT AI profile that they'll put on there.
but seriously, healthy is, can you have someone tell you when you're wrong, and accept it as a, not as a criticism, but as a help? Can you actually take healthy criticism, and I don't want to call it criticism, but can you take suggestions like, hey, I know when you were by yourself, because I'm guilty of this. I always go get gas. I don't, I get gas late at night. I get gas whenever. And when I started dating, the gentleman was like, you're a woman, you cannot do that. And I was like, I've been doing it all my life. And he was like, yeah, that's not safe. And if you're gonna date me, we're gonna be safe. So you're not gonna get it that late. But at first I took it as you trying to take my independence away. But he was really like, do you watch the news? Do you see what's happening? So it's really allowing people to help you see things from a different lens, especially when you're used to doing things yourself for so long.
I want to go back to that AI profile picture, that picture perfect thing. So you know that there's like soft launch. That's when you post a person with no face, and then there's hard launch where you post it actually. So is there a point in a relationship where, like, when do y'all think it's time to soft launch versus hard launch?
Honestly, I've never. Well, I guess we could say I've soft launched before, but it's just like I don't ever really feel the need to post every part of my life in a sense. Like you'll know that I'm with somebody, but I'll never sit there and just post a man every day, all day. Cause like one, two, I feel like it just doesn't end up going well when you constantly brag on somebody, especially publicly. It's just like I'm not doing that. But it wasn't like a thing of like I'm hiding you, which is more so like everything that we do together when I'm seeing you, like when we hang out, it doesn't need to be broadcasted in my opinion. I do that even like with like personal things. Like anytime I go out to go eat, I'm never gonna post it when I'm still there. Like I do things like, like on my own time. So I just feel like everything doesn't need to be shown and not everybody need to be in your business because that's when things get a little messy because it's like you constantly putting everybody in your stuff. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody have a different answer to that question?
I've never hard launched.
Never. Never.
I've never done
My
it.
face is not seeing nobody face ever.
I don't
And
even.
I'm not
You said no face, no case.
I didn't
no
know it was
face,
like
no.
a
They don't
difference
even get the
between
fingers.
soft
You don't
launch or
even get
hard
the
launch.
fingers interlocking when we walking down the street. Like I just, but I'm also a very private person. Like everybody doesn't need to know who I'm dating. Um, and I also did that because I raised my daughter, and I didn't like. I was very careful about dating because I didn't want her to see men coming in and out. So I'm just gonna put it out there. I didn't start dating until my daughter graduated from college. I didn't want to see the revolving door. I was very careful about people who I did bring in her life, and so this is all a new ordeal for me. And she's kind of my help. She's showing me how to date, which is crazy. That's a whole nother story for you guys. But she's showing me how to date because I'm very staunch. I've been doing this for years. I'm not changing. So she's helping me to kind of break some of that loose. So I've never had somebody's face in there because I don't want to delete it when I'm done.
So, Reverend Maisha, while you're talking about kind of like respecting the boundaries between you and your daughter, are you able to like summarize the biblical principles for us?
So okay. So let me tell you the first things first. First thing is I always tell them, um, God always said that we are his children, right? So if I'm your child, I'm gonna fully respect everything that I do. Everything that I put on social media is gonna be something that reflects the godlike child that I am. Um, the second part is to know your heart, to have a heart like a heart of God. So I love people with my full heart. I I make sure that I treat people the way that I want to be treated. I also um I also use um I can't I'm gonna find the scripture. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him and he will direct your path. I always start dating that way. If there's something about the relationship that God makes you feel like, this might not be the person I need to talk to, that's my first go to. If something is not right in here, I kind of I say, hey, this was a great conversation, but I don't think this will go anywhere. So those are my three.
Okay. All right, moving on to our second segment, red flags versus green flags. So we hear people talk
I'm
about red
muting.
flags. What you say? We hear people talk about red flags all the time. So let's help somebody today. What are some red flags that you have seen or learned about? What are some red flags we've seen? I'll go first. I feel like not communicating because I feel like the whole point is for us to talk to each other. You're not even trying to talk to me for real. You're giving me surface level stuff. I don't want that. That's
That's a
my
good
red
one.
flag.
That's a good one. Control. When they want to separate you from people you know. people you're used to being with. When they tell you, or they try to tell you can't hang out with certain people anymore, that's a red flag for me. When you're trying to separate me from what I've known and loved, and you say that you're protecting me from them.
I think that's the big one people don't really talk about in college because it's a lot easier to be isolated when you're not around anybody that you're familiar with. And like people do that, but you don't label it as being toxic or like, being controlling or anything like that. You think it's just something that you're supposed to do where it's okay because, like, I met this new boy. He's from Texas, he's from Houston, that's how to get down. No, it's like, it don't really matter where you go. It's like certain things just aren't cool, but I think that, like, it's more so common when you go places like that. Like when you are away and you're just not familiar, it's a lot easier to get like, fall in a trap in a sense, I should say.
Okay. Anybody
I
else?
think
Any red
another
flag?
one is like how the person acts with like friends versus how they acts with you. Like not saying like he or she has to be like completely a different person, but just making sure like it's not nothing like fake that's going on. So just mannerisms of the person, like how the person acts in different situations.
Okay. Princeton, did you have any red flags you wanted to bring up?
Yeah. Back to that communication you said earlier. Like in relationships, right? There's always going to be problems, and one of the biggest problems is not talking, and most of that is because there's a lot of arguing. You know, a lot of people instead of listening, they're doing this. See, that's God have us. There's a reason He have us have two ears to listen more and talk less. Yes, yes. I'm an old head, so I,
You're
yeah,
the youngest one here.
yeah.
Listen,
The
that felt
youngest
like he
one
was
was,
sitting there.
yeah,
Somebody was
yeah. It's
talking way
crazy.
too
It's crazy. It's
much.
crazy. It's crazy. But y'all wasn't expecting to hear that.
We wasn't. We
But
wasn't.
yeah. But in all seriousness, though, but yeah, just try listening to what someone's talking. It's not communication. Isn't always talking. Yes, there's talking involved, obviously, but listening to the other person saying is also part of communication and also understanding why that person is upset. You know, don't just be angry at them. They might actually have a good reason to be angry, but they can't say it because you keep interrupting and screaming back at them. So hey, I'm just saying communicate, argue less. Listen more, talk less.
While
I
we're
think the
on
big
the
one is
topic
also
of,
too, like,
oh, I'm sorry, go ahead,
stagnation.
Angel.
Like
Sorry,
I
say
was
it
thinking
again.
about it, but I feel like stagnation is like a big red flag for me now too. Like when people just want to keep talking you, and never going nowhere with anything. It's like that's like a big one when you go to, like, it's like, yeah, it was a thing in high school, but I feel like everybody wanted boyfriend, girlfriend. You want the title so bad when you're in high school, and it's just like, whatever, cool. But like when you leave, people are just comfortable, just like having you just, they want everything that comes with the relationship without that title. And I think that's something that I'm like more so like really, it's something I peep more now. Like it's definitely something that's like not cool, and it definitely is a red flag because you can't just sit there and be too comfortable, like not going anywhere with somebody. Because what do you really want at the end of the day?
Before we move on, piggybacking off of that, I feel like, especially around our age, it's just like, oh, at this age, I'm supposed to be doing this, this, and this, not being married and engaged. And I feel like that's something that kind of stops a lot of people in their relationships because, oh, I'm supposed to be a free man. I'm supposed to be doing whatever I want. I'm not supposed to be with this woman. But then it's like, you're doing the activities already. Like, but anyways, while we were talking about listening, let's move on to some green flags. I think Princeton already told us listening is definitely one. What are some other green flags that we have?
Yeah.
Green flag. There,
No.
it's no, I no, 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 no. I wasn't gonna say that. Being able to be together without it feeling like it's pressure. When you all can laugh, you can talk, you can have a conversation about anything, go anywhere, and it seems like there's nobody there but the two of you. Um, Being able to just be yourself. because we don't ever want to have to put up a front in a relationship, right? If I'm like I have on a Snoopy shirt right now. If you're not into cartoons, we're probably not gonna work out. I am a cartoon head. I've been watching cartoons my whole life. It's cool for me. So if you have an issue with me wanting to rather go into the movies to see a cartoon movie and rather than a scary movie, then we may not work out. But I can be me. I can be the person I'm supposed to be. I can be religious. I can be a big kid when I want to be. I can be as serious when I need to be. And then we can just go play. Do y'all still ring the doorbell and run? I used to do that when I was little. Sometimes I
Don't
do it now in my neighborhood because sometimes I just like bothering people. Um, but, I mean, if you can't just flow with life with me, then I mean, there's I need someone who can just flow. You just fit it. We just fit, and you know when you have that person, because it doesn't seem like when you talk on the phone it's like, dang, what's going to come next. When we talk, the conversation just flows, and next thing you know it's like 2 hours and you all have been on the phone, you're like, I gotta go, but I really like this conversation, but I gotta go. Or when you all are out, people can see that you all are connected without being a forced connection.
okay. Any other green flags?
Miss Engaged.
I knew you was gonna say something, but you said it like you kind of said it all though. I knew I had a feeling you was gonna call me next, but you said it all, like not having to put on like this facade of like somebody that you are just because you're dating somebody. Like that's definitely a red flag. But like green flag again, it's like that easy a communication. You don't have to. We do have to think, but you don't have to think like too much. I guess you would say into things because again, it just comes with it. It comes with the flow. Um, but yeah, everything that you guys named are definitely green flags to have.
Mhm.
I think a green flag for me is like consistency. I
Yeah.
am kind of like a routine person. Like Sunday, I do my homework. Monday, I go to work. Cause so I think like being consistent is something that I kind of crave within my life.
Of course, you don't want anybody who calls you on Sunday and then they don't call you again till 2 weeks later. You're like, so I don't really know if you're interested or not. Like, I mean, do something, send me a text, something like, hey, I have a busy week ahead. I might not call you in 2 weeks. Then I might be a little more lenient. But if we had a good conversation on Sunday and then you call 2 weeks later, you're like, hey, I'm like, I moved on. I'm sorry. I
Yeah,
thought it
that's a
was all
red
good.
flag.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
I'm definitely with you on routine. It's if once you start something, you better keep it up with me because I'm an overthinker. So if you start something and all of a sudden you stop, I'm like, what did I do? What was the situation? What's going on? Like, so that's me. I like consistency.
All right. Here is a tough one. How do you know if someone genuinely cares about you or if they just like the attention that you give them?
They show
Princeton.
it. Oh, go ahead, Preston.
No, go ahead, Brandy.
No. Go ahead, Preston. I'll
Oh,
come after you.
how do how do I know? Well, that's tough because people, I would say people put on good images these days. They sure know how to hide behind themselves with a mask. I tell you that much. They know how to do that. But you'll know because it'll just give God will just expose someone real quick. He really would. He'll expose you real quick. Like he'll bring out that fake and tell you the real quick. I'm telling you. So I just look at it as just let God do it, or just pay attention. Just pay attention because some people will just date someone just to put on that image and make themselves look good. You know, like the most popular girl at school. Oh, I'm gonna get with her. So everybody just be looking at me, right? You know the high school stuff. I know it because I see it. So I see it. I see it. So they'll just you'll just know, like, you try to hold that person's hand, they'll just step away, or you try to actually like spend time with them, they be like, nah, I just want to relax, or they're just not compassionate to you. They're not really loving to you, right? And that's also another thing in relation. That's another green flag that loving. I know it sounds common, but not many people know how to love. And First Corinthians 13 and 4 talks about love. Love is patience, it's kind, doesn't envy, doesn't boast, it's not proud. And the definition of that is love is like a sacrifice. You know, you have to be willing to love and actually be with that person and actually deal with them, because there's one thing to just hang around them for a few hours, but there's another thing actually spending like years with that person. So you actually gotta, like one of y'all said about commitment and stuff. You
Mhm.
actually have to be committed and actually be loving. So as far as like knowing when it's like a fake or a real type relationship, you'll see it. Just pay attention, and then you still don't see it, trust me, God gonna expose that person.
Yeah.
In the comments, they said if they truly love you, communication comes easy, and I think that kind of feeds off of our green flags that we said earlier. So if we see that there are some signs that show us how someone really cares about us, or if they just like the attention, I want to ask: have you ever ignored warning signs because you wanted the relationship to work? I see a lot of head nods. Yes. Anyone have like an explanation of what signs you would have ignored?
Control. I ignored the control. Um, I lived in a place where I couldn't have a key. I couldn't go home until they were home. Um, but because of the situation, because we had a child together, I wanted it to work because I grew up in a two-parent household. So I wanted everything to be just the way I grew up. I wanted my daughter to have that same experience. And it was very toxic. It was very toxic. Um, and like you said, the warning signs were there. Didn't want me. A lot of my friends weren't hanging out with me anymore. Um, when we did talk, it was very coded. Um, and it was very that rhythm. There was no rhythm there. But I tried to make it work, and it ended up being more of a more detrimental to what I was trying to create than just letting it go and just understanding that it just wasn't meant to be.
Okay.
I don't think I like ignored anything because I wanted it to work. I feel like I just wanted to believe like everything that was being told to me was like real and true, you know. So because I don't ever try and force nothing like anybody I've like because I only had like two relationships I could say, but it's like I never tried to force anything. But it was like I think with the most recent one, it was just more so I really wanted to believe everything was like what it was being told to me. And when you find out like things aren't as they were presented to you, it's like, because I did notice things like, you always notice the shit. You always know before you really want to know. Like, so it's like, you notice the shift in how a person acts because you are around this person a lot. So it's like, you know how somebody's character is, how somebody acted in the beginning. And that's too, like, I feel like people call, like, the honeymoon stage, whatever. But I feel like that shouldn't just be the nicest time somebody is to you. Like somebody really will show you like who they really are after them first few months. Sometimes people wait a year before they really start showing who they actually are to you. So I feel like when you notice things are different, like you really do have to trust your gut that you're not tripping. Like it is what it is. Even if you say something to said person and they like make it seem like you don't know what you're talking about, you do because you know yourself and you know them. So it's like you have to like yourself and then like you know it's okay to like lean on other people as well to like see like if they're seeing what you're seeing because sometimes when you keep looking into you for everything you just gonna overthink. You think that maybe I'm not really seeing what I'm seeing, like oh maybe it's this or maybe he didn't really mean that, like but it's really not that. You take things for face value and never look for somebody for the potential of what they could be but versus what they are to you now. And I think that's like the most important lesson I'm learning at the moment is like take somebody at face value. It's never what you think they could be or build somebody, whatever. It's who they are now. And maybe they
Yeah.
might be that person that you wanted them to be later on down the line, but it's not up to you to wait for that person to happen. So yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, I think if I'm ever in a situation, like I'll just like pray and be like, God, show me something, or like I don't know, essentially like I don't know what to do next. Like, can you guide me to the water? So, do y'all think there's a point where it's just like, oh, I'm done with this, or like, is there an off switch? Is there something that happens that just kind of like pushes you to move on, or like, what is the turning point there?
In different relationships, I feel like when you have to compromise yourself, I think that should be the biggest turning point. You're like, you know what? I did it once. I'm not going to sit here and keep on doing it over and over again. So the when you like things are going smooth and it's going great, and then it's just like they do something and just like, oh wait, what? Ignore it. You keep not like never ignoring the signs. Like just again pray, be like, you know what, God, if this is for me, if this is what you want me to do, then I'll do it. um because sometimes I feel like that end result, we end up learning lessons that wasn't meant for us to learn. And so you go through that whole process of like learning and healing, even though it wasn't for you, it was probably for the person that you were actually dating. So being like very intentional, not letting somebody like dim your light just because their light isn't shining. So just gotta be careful on that end.
In the comments we had, it says, "I don't think you truly know a person until you share a space." Brandy, do you agree with that? It's an engaged woman. You don't.
Say it
Do you
again. I
agree
don't think
with
she
that?
heard you.
Oh,
Sorry. My thing
sorry.
fell off. Yeah. Sorry.
So
Only
in
got
the
one in.
comments,
Sorry.
in the comments it says, "I don't think you truly know a person until you share a space." So as an engaged woman, like, do you agree with that, or like, what's your perspective, your take?
Yes, I 100% agree. Funny thing is, I had this conversation with my uncle, and the whole conversation about shacking up, or uh, that conversation in general. And I believe it's what you do while shacking what makes it a sin. But that's just my opinion. That's a whole different topic for a different day. Um, but sharing this space is definitely different. I'm an only child. And so sharing, I guess, it's a little tough at times because you have your routine, like you have things, you have your mindset, the whole getting gas thing, like it's just me. But like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm good. Like, granted, have friends were great, but at the end of the day, I'm an only child. So sharing a space, and being willing to share, um those are things that I feel like aren't talked about. I mean, yes, like yes, like you find somebody, you date, you get engaged, you get married, but it's again, it's what you do while dating, it's what you do while being engaged. It's sharing, it's communicating, it's having those talks over and over because one person forgets a lot, me, and the other person will remember a lot, which is him. So it's the repetition, it's it's freeing yourself so you can be that person, like so you can come together. Sharing this space is very hard, and I think it should be talked about a little bit more. But and not even like sharing space like, oh, we living together, like sharing a space like, hey, let's hang out on Saturday. And you may
All
have
day.
plans, he may have plans. It could be an all day event. So like sharing space, sharing time. Um, yeah, I definitely agree with Christian. Yeah, it's yeah, you don't know somebody or how somebody acts, because I can be very selfish in my space. Like, you're not gonna sit this random thing here and I have no, like it's so yeah.
While we're on the topic, moving on to our next segment, which is boundaries. People hear the word boundaries and think you're pushing people away. So why are boundaries actually important? I think Brandy actually just started us off. You need your own space. So anybody else have anything to contribute to that? No.
I don't do well with boundaries.
Give it
No,
your
So
best shot.
Not in a not in a bad way. I'm a giver. I'm a people pleaser. So I'll allow people to keep picking at my boundaries, and then till it get to a point where I've let it go too far, where I don't know how to communicate that it's bothering me. Because I don't want you to be upset with me. I don't want you to be mad with me. If I had the toothbrush, if I had the bathroom set up a certain way, and you decided you were going to rearrange it so it's a little more convenient for you, I'd be okay with it. And then stuff starts coming up missing because you put some of my stuff away so your stuff can fit. Okay. And then after a while, I'm like, I can't find my stuff, and now you're irritating me, and now I don't know if this is gonna work. Um, so I think that's all about that's all about knowing yourself, though, because you have to know
You're right.
what's your cutoff. You have to know, like, I can deal with this much. I can deal with you being in my personal space. Brandy says she's an only child. I have an only child. If I nitpick at her, she will let me know, Mom, you are now entering a level where I don't think we're gonna get along right now, and I need you to just give me a little space, and I need you to go to your room, and I need you to stay out of my room and stop picking at me. Same thing with a relationship. Some people they like to be cuddled up all the time. Some people like someone in their area. Sometimes you I need you, if we talk on Tuesday and Thursday, don't call me Monday, Wednesday, Friday, because you know those are my busy days. You know I'm not going to have a whole lot of conversation. But you have to set that up in the beginning, because to try and adjust it after you all been dealing with each other so long sometimes causes animosity, and you don't want to have animosity in your relationship. And that's along with, and that goes all the way back to communication, right? um and then, like I said, you have to know yourself. If you don't know what your own boundaries are, if you're just a wide open book, you're like, I can take just about anything. um in a relationship, is a hard way to learn what your boundaries are.
I think you really are good with boundaries. You just explained it real good for us. I think you.
I'm working on it.
So would you say you're
Rev
not
is
good
praying for
at?
me. Rev Riley is praying for me right now. She's like, girl, we gonna work on you. But
Um,
I also, when you're younger, um, I think when you're younger, you have a little more time. You're still trying to figure yourself out, so you're a little more flexible. When you get a little older, and like Brandy said, you're in a rhythm of things, and like Lauren's in a rhythm. She studies on Sunday. On Monday, she knows she's going to work. Um, if somebody's like, we're going to hang out till 2 in the morning, she's like, I gotta work in the morning. I can't do two. We're not gonna do two. And they keep planning things to try to get her out, where she's out till 2 in the morning. That's gonna be a no for her. She's gonna be like, you don't respect the fact that I want to be prepared for my job in the morning. And that's an issue, and that's a boundary for her. Maybe a boundary for her. I'm not saying what's your boundary. I'm sorry. That may be a boundary for her. Or if Angel knows she has a big test coming up, and she knows she needs, a week of studying, and somebody's trying to be up under her during that week, and she's like, no, I need to concentrate on my studies. I mean, it's nothing against you, but I really want to do well on this test. And they keep pushing, like, I need to talk to you. I want to see you. And she's like, no, because I need an A on this test so I can pass this class. That's a boundary. Like, people have to understand who they're dealing with in order to be able to cultivate a relationship that works for both of you.
so
I like what
Angel,
Reverend Riley said too. You see that, Lauren?
yeah, she said if you are not clear about your boundaries, someone else will define them for you. And that definitely feeds into my next question. It's for Angel and Princeton though. So y'all are in the phase of like finding your boundaries. So how is that going? Or like are you in the point where somebody else is defining them for you, or like how are you exploring them essentially?
Ladies first.
Um, I feel like even like when I started dating in like high school, I was always kind of like firm on certain things I just wouldn't bend for in a sense, just because it was like I feel like also too it is also like upbringing because like my dad didn't do certain things, so it's like I wouldn't accept that from you because my dad don't talk to me like that, my dad don't do that, so it's like why would I leave that and then come back to this? Like it just don't make sense. But like I will say though, like you probably I have been in a situation before where it's like, you meet somebody who like you think like maybe you would want to like compromise on things for like bend something. But it's like once it gets down to like actual boundaries or things that you set for yourself as your own personal morals, that's not something somebody should ever make you feel like you should have to bend on or like, compromise to accommodate them. Like certain things, like you can, like favorite food, like stuff like that. Like I'll try something new with you, like food, whatever, cool. But it's like certain things like that go to my morals and my personal values are things that I just can't compromise or bend with you because like then I'm compromising me, and if I'm not me, then I don't need to be with you.
Okay. Princeton.
You about to say something, Reverend?
I'll let you make your statement first.
Okay, all right. Boundaries. I don't. Well, I do set boundaries. I set boundaries for me, like as far as like myself, like right now, I'm setting a boundary like to eat right and stuff, and like actually, well, my mom made me. She was really like pushing me to eat right and stop, working out all the time, because I have scoliosis and stuff. So
Oh,
yeah, my back ain't doing too good. So
I'll
I
take care of you.
Yep, that take care of me. But just really pushing to eat right and just stay focused on like school and stuff. Boundaries. I push myself to just stay focused on school. Like some people ask me, you ain't thinking about getting no like girlfriend or anything? I was like, no, I'm just focused on school and stuff. Um, so yeah, boundaries. I do think that when you set boundaries, you actually have to be willing to like do it. Like don't just say, okay, I'm gonna do this day and do that day, and then the next day, like you have a diet. Tomorrow I'm gonna eat salad, carrots, or apples. Next thing I know, I see old birthday cake and, and some chocolate chip cookies at your desk or something. So with boundaries, it's good to set, but are you actually going to do them? So
I think too, like it's easier to stand firm on your boundaries when you decide to like date or like talk to somebody who like has the same values as you, because like if you're talking to somebody who has a completely different lifestyle than you are, their boundaries and their lifestyle and their priorities are very different from yours. So like in a sense you can't come into that expecting them to like conform to what you do because you've been knew that they didn't live like that. So it's like for me, being that I want to like do something with my life, I'm in school, whatever, like when I come back home, it's the same boys that have been trying to talk to me since high school. Y'all don't do nothing with nothing. Coming back home, like I still see y'all in the same place, posted up at a gas station. So it's like, what am I gonna do with that if I know I want to go away from where I live at currently? I want to be something. I want to travel to where I want to do everything. And it's like it's okay that people have different goals. Not everybody wants to do what you want to do, but you're just setting yourself up for failure when you talk to somebody or like expect anything serious or like longevity with someone who does not want to do anything that you want to do.
Let me ask you all. You mind if I do it, Lauren?
Go ahead.
Can believers date non-believers?
No.
I don't. I
You
don't
you
think
were
so
quick with it, Lauren. Lauren's like, nope.
because
That was her
yeah,
boundary.
Oh, so her
you
and
can make them
Angela's both like,
believe.
go
I
ahead
feel
if you don't
like
mind.
um I was talking to this boy, but we would like go to church together. And I feel like when we went to church and we kind of listened to the word together and we got the message together, we were able to apply it to our lives together and it would just kind of flow better essentially. Like if we both have these understandings, God said this, God said that, okay, we're both going to follow that. But if you don't think God said that, you who knows what you finna do? And I'm not finna see what you finna do either. So my answer is no.
Got to get up
I
out of
feel
there.
like yeah, because I feel like it does go back to like personal beliefs and your own morals. And like if you don't believe in anything that I believe in, it's just like how are we gonna progress or grow in how I want to grow? Because at the end of the day, I feel like for lack of better words, you should be selfish in a relationship. Like everything should be something that like you should be pouring into me and I should be pouring into you. Like we should both be growing together in a sense. And if you don't believe nothing that I believe, and it's just like,
No.
what are we talking about? Because I don't want to feel like I'm having to force something on you or convince you to do anything. Because that's the last thing I want to do with somebody. Like I don't want to make you uncomfortable because maybe that's just not which like people have different reasons as to why they believe in different things or don't believe in other things. So it's like I'm never gonna feel like I have to like hide the fact that I'm going to church or like if I'm going somewhere I don't want to if it'll make you uncomfortable if I'm doing something that, so it's just like, yeah.
I think it goes back to expectation, and getting to know somebody. So if you already knew that they don't go to church all the time, they don't go to Bible study, they don't read the Bible, you can't force somebody to do it. You would like for them and encourage for them to like do the things that you do. But at the end of the day, they're definitely going to show you um, who they are. But also that's why it's great to set that boundary. Like, hey, like we can kind of talk for this period of time, but I do want you to know that I believe in God and that's not going to change. So having that set boundary. So I mean, you can be friends with them. I don't know about dating.
Back to you, Lauren.
Oh wait, back to regularly scheduled programming. All right, my next question. So we talked a lot about like physical boundaries. What about our emotional boundaries? Like, is there a point where emotionally I'm not gonna take this anymore?
Um,
It's okay. Don't mind
yeah,
speaking.
yeah.
Can you repeat the last
You,
part of your question?
Yes. So we're talking about like what are our emotional boundaries. So is there just like emotionally I'm not gonna take it if you, how would I explain this? Sorry, it's loading in my brain. Okay. So if
okay,
there were a point where someone is disrespecting you constantly, obviously that's going to kind of wear and tear on you emotionally because you feel like you're not valued, you're not this, you're not that. Is there just a boundary of like, this is the point where I'm just not going to take this? So, like, disrespect, yep, not taking that at all. Or is there something else there's just like emotionally I'm not going to take that from you? Or if you feel like you're always obligated to speak on this part of my life without me asking you, those kind of things.
that has a lot to do with boundaries. And that has a lot to do with how you feel about yourself. If you place yourself on a pedestal and you know, hey, I'm a child of God, um, no man is above God. So no, my spouse, my comfort, my understanding of myself. If I know that God loves me, and if you keep doing things to make me feel like I'm less than what He created me to be, then that's my boundary. That's you. You can't emotionally tear me down to the point where I think that God isn't looking out for me. But that's how you have to start that with how you feel about yourself. I know that God don't play about me. And if you keep playing with me, then you don't have God first on your heart to be like, hey, I can't play about her because she's covered, or I can't play about him because he's covered. The more I attack, the more it's going to hurt me because I know that their angels are protecting them. So the more I keep trying to tear into them, the more that things are going to happen to me. Um, and that's part of dating yourself, knowing yourself first though, because there's if I already know how I feel about myself, no matter what size I am, no matter what situation I'm in, if I know that there's a God that looks out for me, there's a God that's listening to me, there's a God that cares for me, there's nobody that's in my relationship that can be in a place where they can be like, hey Maisha, you're less than a child of God. You're the dirt. You're less than, valuable. There's no way, because I know that there's a God that puts me high up there, that He saved, that He sent His Son to die for me. So there's no way that any man or any woman for that matter can say anything to me that can make me feel like I'm less than a child of God. But like I said, that has to start with you pouring into yourself. Sometimes you have to have morning affirmations because we all don't feel wonderful every time we wake up, right? Sometimes we need a little extra push. Sometimes we need to know that for God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son. Sometimes you have to say, for God so loved me. So, like Brandy said, you got to be selfish sometimes. You can't allow people to be the person, to be the ones who give you your value. Your value has to already be set when you start dating. And I think a lot of times we try to have somebody pour into us to help us feel like what we should be before we already know who we are when we start dating.
Thank you. I also saw in the comments Christian said like for emotional boundaries. When I'm not ready to speak, don't make me speak. But I know we also have some overthinkers here. So, how does that make our overthinkers feel? As someone who is an overthinker, I do want you to take your time, maybe like a day, but I don't know. If you take too long to think, then I'm gonna overthink.
I feel like it's just more so the communication, like, cause I don't want to speak all the time when I'm upset or like irritated, you know. But I'll tell you, I just don't want to talk right now. Like, I'll talk to you, you know. I'll talk to you later, like when I'm calmer. And too, I feel like you don't want to say things out of anger or like being upset and like you just thinking about your head and you just mad, cause it's like that happens a lot, and that's why a lot of things end up just not being what they were, you know, meant to be, just because you both talk when in the moment when you're still upset. So I feel like it's just the communication factor for real, and also kind of goes back to boundaries. Like, I know myself, if I know that I have a mouth on me, if I'm real mad at you, I got a mouth, then I'm just not gonna say nothing right now. I'll tell you, like, I'll talk to you later, you know, because I respect you and I respect what we got going on. So it's like I'm just gonna take my time, be by myself for a little bit, and then I'll come back and talk when I'm ready. But yeah.
Don't mess with Angel. She'll get on you.
Angel knows. Angel, y'all see her name. Quit playing. You better come correct with Angel. Don't play.
Stand on business.
She's already. I think Christian said she's got mommy mixed with auntie. Angel like, I do love you, but I'm gonna take care of you. You keep messing with me. That's Angel. But I
Hey,
like it though, cause she understands. You make it very clear. You make it very clear, cause like you said, if you're angry and you say it, that conversation might go a whole different way than if you like, you know what? Give me a day to come back to myself to rethink through the situation, and then we can talk about it. Cause you never want to say things out of anger. You never want to. Um, and the funny thing is, my parents always had this comment: we never go to bed angry. So it's not the fact that you have to talk it through. Sometimes when you separate, that's when you give yourself release to let that time for you to rethink through a process, rather than going to bed and you looking at each other like I can't stand you, and or or you hang up the phone and you're like, you know what, I don't even want to talk to you anymore. When you give yourself a time to rethink, because what the argument may be about may be something as simple as a misunderstanding or miscommunication. So that's why, like Angel said, you step away for a moment, you recollect your thoughts, you think back through the situation, and then you're like, okay, well, now we can talk about it. You took the covers, and I'm not, I didn't like it, or I told you I was going to pay for dinner today, and you put your card out first, and you totally disregarded the fact that I told you I was going to treat you today. So I feel some type of way, like you feel like I can't do anything, and that might not be the case. It may just be that they're just so used, they want to take care of you, that it's okay that they forgot, because they're just in the rhythm that they want to take care of you or be kind to you. So sometimes we have to just step back and um um reassess the situation before we make a comment about it.
can I add son? I'm gonna add something to Miss Reverend Aisha. Stepping back, space is always good to have in a relationship. You don't want to be too much on that person always. Because especially when it comes down to like y'all having arguments. Because there's always going to be arguments. We can try to have the happiest days, but the happiest days becomes the worst days. Unfortunately, that's just the world we live in. We wouldn't live in that world if Eve and Adam haven't ate that apple. So, unfortunately, we live in a world where we just have issues in relationships. So, but as far as like separating and stuff, what Miss Reverend Aisha said, in separation, you just have to talk when you're ready, like y'all just explained. And with that, even if that person be like, "Hey, we should talk about this," like right after y'all just argue like a second, "Hey, we need to talk about this." And if you say, yes, let's talk about it, knowing that you mad and you want to say some things, and you be like, okay, let's talk about it. Now you just add a fuel to the fire. separate. Don't try to add fuel to the fire. Just separate. Give your time. Give your relationship partner space and give yourself space to actually calm down and relax. And that's where the communication will build up later on.
All right, we're gonna move on to our quick fire rounds. That's like rapid questions. So I'm gonna ask questions, and that means that everybody has to answer. Are we ready? Why you putting it like that?
Oh, y'all gotta answer.
You gotta
We got
answer
this.
too.
I thought you was picking on who goes first.
All
We
right,
ready,
no
Lauren?
thinking. You're just gonna answer. Your first question: friendship before dating?
Yes.
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 Sometimes.
Sometimes. What?
To
Sometimes.
to ease it up, get to know the person. At least know the
At least know the person.
at least know the person. Okay, just to clear because we have a tobacco here.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, it's
At
not like
least
I meet somebody and just be all, we together. No, it's like I be using a talking stage for that, But I wouldn't say like my first boyfriend was not my friend before we started dating. Like we start talking and then it's like, okay, now I know you like, you cool, like we're friends now. And then it's like, okay, yeah, but it wasn't like we was friends and then we just started talking out of nowhere. It was like more so the talking stage was that time period to like, build up to that. But yeah, I don't just meet people and just start
all right.
But,
All right. Guess we cleared that up.
I ain't want to lie. I was like, I don't practice.
Communication.
If I say friend before that, because that's a lie. If I said I don't practice that all the time. So it's like, the talking stage is kind of like how, because you meet people random places for real. Like I met him in high school, through other people. So it was like, yeah, but that's
All right. Next question: who should text first?
I mean, I don't.
Go off who texted last.
I mean, I don't. I just say just text. I just say just text. I mean, I don't.
I want Princeton.
Just
I don't
text,
know.
really. I mean, I don't. I
I
don't
feel
think
like
there's
if I
really.
texted last, I'm expecting you to text me now. So it's I don't know. That's just me. I just always been like that. Like I feel like if I'm left on delivered, it depends though. Like if I said something like just okay was my last message, okay, cool. I'll say the next morning like good morning, whatever, cool. But if I was actually having a conversation and continuing the conversation, and you just didn't respond and want me to say no, it's not happening. Like it'll just sit there. So
I'll
don't know.
say. If you say
For
I'll
you.
say. If you say you're gonna text first, or whatever, however the flow goes. So
I like what Christian said. Christian said whoever wants to speak, text first.
yeah, just
But I feel like
like
you don't want to
Angel.
talk to me for real. You don't want to text. If I
yeah,
texted you last and you didn't text me back, you
yeah,
don't want to talk that bad. So it's like really,
you know,
you can just dead
yeah.
that. Like it's cool. Like
Yeah, I'm with
I know
Angel
what
this
you want.
time.
It's cool.
I'm with Angel.
Why don't you want to talk to me? Like, why did you
Right?
just
Because I'm like, you don't want to talk to the queen. Like if I texted you, if I blessed your phone texting you last and you don't want to text the
Bless
queen
your
first, like
phone.
what are we talking about? It's just not happening. So, I'm sorry. Like
I don't want to be a bugaboo, so it's got to be
right.
I just
If I look at that
it's got
thread and
I
it's too
can't.
many blue,
It can't be
no.
more blue on my side.
Literally, it's ugly good. Like, no.
Whoever asked for the number first, text first.
There we go. I like that. I like
Okay,
that.
okay. Well, I ain't got to worry about that because I'm a scaredy cat.
I don't ask for nobody numbers, so they just have to text me. Not everyone's.
You
I
don't
don't
have
care.
to be
You
a
talking
good
to me, you better be a
texter
good
though.
texter. That's all I'm saying. Like,
It doesn't
I
have to be
don't
something.
care.
It could be, oh, I'll call you later or something. You don't have to be
You
a
know?
good texter, but you need to text me something.
Right. Because if you don't
I'm
say nothing
just
at all, no,
Text a
it's
smiley
cool.
face or something.
Yes,
Well,
Like, I
a
need proof of
period,
life,
a dot.
something. Like,
wave.
literally, I don't care. And if you're not a good texter, you better be calling me then. So it's like there is no in between. Like, I don't care. Like that's one thing I really don't bend on. Like, you don't. If you don't want to talk, we don't gotta talk. So sorry.
Yeah, her
Y'all better
playbook's
text her
already
first.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all better reply. If
And
she's
I'm about to say,
okay, you better say good morning.
not not GM, not morning.
Like,
Good morning.
no,
Good morning. Yeah,
can't
yeah.
get a response back.
Oh, so like okay. Oh no, keep going with your rapid. Your
No, did you
rapid
have something to say?
questions. Huh?
You can go ahead if you have some.
Does it bother you if you're a person that writes out stuff? Does it bother you when they just give you the GM or
Correct.
the
Yes.
GA or the
Because why are you
night?
upset? Why do you wake up like that?
Like literally. I just feel like people abbreviate too much. It's just like, bro, you being lazy now. Like, if you don't text out good in morning, like it takes you no.
And your phone probably does it for you.
And
No,
it's also
honestly,
like,
your phone is
and it's
fighting
also
you
like
to say good
you.
morning, and you still put Jim. Like, I don't know.
It's also like you've been to school. You know how to spell good and morning. Like, come on now. You know how
You
to
don't know.
spell good
Some
and
people
morning.
don't be knowing how to spell now, so it's like I don't know. They a little ignorant to these things.
All right, let's go to the next question.
Back to our regularly scheduled podcast.
Reverend Riley said, "Don't shorthand text me.
Exactly.
Spell it out."
Reverend Riley, you're like married. Like you literally said
She still, hey, they still
hey.
date during marriage. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Okay, but he's right there. She just gotta say hey, and that's it. You don't
No,
have to
mind you, they
text
really do be on the phone
nobody.
for real though. Like, so it's like you don't want. I'm like, what? Like that's crazy. Like, if you don't want to talk to me, just don't talk to me. Like,
Oh Lord.
my parents just be chilling on the phone, so it's like, no, I won't be doing
If you
that.
don't reply, I'm gonna let it fly.
Honestly,
I'm just
All right, moving on to the next question.
We still on rapid, right?
Yes,
yeah.
Okay.
big romantic gestures or daily consistency.
Consistency.
Daily
Consistency.
consistency.
consistent.
Okay.
Easy.
Don't come to me on February 14th.
Right. Because I feel like gestures don't mean nothing if you don't keep up with it. So it's like, you know,
Mhm.
and two people only do that. Like, I don't know if it's just me, but I hate people like I wouldn't want me personally. I would say I wouldn't want to be proposed to on like a day like my birthday or like Valentine's Day or something like that. Because I feel like you're not gonna take my birthday from me. So it's like if you only want to do a big gesture or something like that on a special day to me. I just feel like you don't like me for real. Because there's no way you thought I would want our anniversary and my birthday to be the same day. Like, no, I'm sorry, it's just not happening.
All right, next one. Looks or character?
Character.
Oh, she go for looks.
Reverend.
I just feel like I want both.
Your face said it all. You didn't even have to say
I'm
it.
working.
Okay,
I'm
we
a work
already
in
know.
progress. I'm a work in progress.
Looks all the way.
All
Not
the
She
way.
said
even,
looks
not even
all the
half
way.
and half.
I feel
Yeah.
like
The real answer is like hat,
Maybe half and half.
Okay, so okay. Let's be honest.
you go for looks initially though.
If
Can fix character. I'm sorry. The comment.
Fix-
Christian said we can fix character. Said, but I gotta be able to wake up to you.
I feel
Okay,
like
good.
I was just about to
everybody
say,
do
'cause-
that. You know, you initially talk to somebody for what they look like. You don't know if somebody's a good person based off of what they look like. You know, you might see them first and it's like, yeah, like, you know, I like how you look. And then we start talking and it's like, you're a little bit of an airhead. So it's like, I don't know.
I have to be able to look at you without going like that.
Laughing. Yeah.
I feel like also too I have to be able to take care of my people and like know like they're not gonna talk about you. Because like, I have too many siblings. So it's like you gonna go through all 5 of them if they all call you ugly. That's just so embarrassing on my part. Like I don't know. Like I just can't do that. Like and then they gonna be texting about you. Like I just know if the boy walk in the door, they all gonna be texting the group chat talking about like, wow, this who you bring home. Like, bro, no, it's not happening. Like, I don't know.
I'm really trying. I hear you, Angel. I mean, I want to say half and half, yes, but I gotta be able to at least be like, that's mine. I really like what I really like who I'm with.
Look at what I bought.
You don't want to cringe, but you know.
Because
you're a
Because
nice person,
I hear people say you can grow to love them.
You don't
I
want to
don't
be like
know.
you're a nice person, but you know.
I feel like too though, looks are subjective, so it's like, what might be attractive to you isn't to somebody else. So it's like,
Yeah,
you know,
That's true.
it's just like not everybody's gonna be your cup of tea, and like
yeah.
I was gonna say no, but like I feel like everybody's not gonna be your cup of tea, but it's like you just
They'll
gotta pick
find
who
somebody.
they'll find somebody. There is somebody for everybody, for real. But
We're
like,
gonna move to the next question because we get in
yeah,
trouble on that one. Come on, Lauren.
Next question: what's one quality you'll never compromise on? This is you're not supposed to think.
Oh,
Oh,
think like wait.
we all were in deep thought. I thought you was gonna
We
list off some
no,
was.
things,
no, this
baby.
is like an
I ain't.
actual thought question though.
That was a thought question.
Okay, mine is communication.
Off the
Boom.
top of my head, I feel
Next.
like ambition. Like I don't want somebody who just doesn't want to do anything at all.
Reverend Riley
Mine is
said
respect.
respect.
I must. Oh yeah,
You
I
have
was
to
gonna say
Mine
that.
is
respect.
respect.
Yeah,
You got to respect my church. You gotta respect my faith. You have to respect my family. You have to respect me. You have
you
to
got
there's I just you cannot be disrespectful and think I'm just gonna turn the other cheek. I just not in a relationship,
Yeah.
not anyway. It's already hard at a job, and then I got to come home. Nah,
Yeah.
disrespect.
Princeton.
Respect, like they said, they already said it. Respect. You know, people and who they communicate with. Respect your church, like Ms. Redden said. Respect what you stand for. Which is God, obviously. Just respect. That's all that matters.
All right, and my last question: what is one piece of dating advice in 5 words or less?
pray.
Five. Five. Pray. Okay. Pray. It's one.
I think the one less.
Anybody else? No, you're good. You're good. I was
This a
just
rapid
reminding
question?
them that it was five.
She said rapid. I listen.
She did
That one I
good.
got.
Pray.
The other one I had to
Pray,
think about.
pray, pause, plan, pray, and then
What?
and
Pray.
so
You
I
doing all
say plan.
P's?
Pray.
Yes, pray because you got to pray about the person first. Pause
Correct.
because you have to take in what God is telling you. Sometimes we pray and then we just keep on doing what we want to do. So there's this young lady who I can't ever remember her name when we're on here. Um, but she does these little skits and she talks to God and she's like, I'm talking to this guy, and God's telling her, don't talk to that guy. And she keeps going, she's like, I'm gonna see for
Oh.
myself. And so that's why I say pray. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Pray.
she always got the she
Yep, with
always
the she got the
and the
paper
curly
towel on her
gold
head. Yes.
hair.
Yes, you know who I'm talking about.
Oh.
I love her though because that's why I say pray, pause, because a lot of times we pray and then we just continue to do what we want to do anyway. We pray about it, but then we still put ourselves in a position where we think we're going to go ahead and handle it and not wait for God's saying what we do. Um so I said pray, pause, pray again, no plan. And when I say plan, that's part of getting to know each other, setting boundaries. um you don't want to just jump into anything and just say let's just go for the gusto and see what happens. You got to understand who that person is. You have to know if they're faith-based. If they are not a faith-based person, like you said, it's not going to last long, so why even waste that time? Why even put in that type of effort? And then I'll say pray again because sometimes you see that person, you see what's going on, and you see how things are coming together. And you just got to make sure that God is still in the center of everything that you're doing, and you're not just falling into your flesh needs and falling into what you desire rather than what God is helping you to see that you need and you should be focused on. And I don't know the last P. I couldn't come up with another one. So you got 4 out of me.
Pray. Pause. Pray. Pause. Plan.
And then
Pray.
pray again. Because we always should put God first in each and everything that we do. Everything.
Peter.
Peter was violent though. Peter was violent.
What?
Peter cut off that ear. Peter
We
was
can't.
ready.
I don't think we can walk on water.
Huh?
I needed a last P. I don't know.
Peter. Peter was violent,
Peter. That's the
but
only P word I could
but
think of.
Peter prayed. Peter prayed while he was in prison, and them shackles came off. So it just depends on which Peter you want. You want the violent Peter? You want the
There you
praying, the
go. You
saved
decided
Peter?
which Peter you gonna be.
Better be the praying Peter. The praising Peter. Be the praise. Thank you,
Praise.
Lord, for this relationship.
There we
Thank
go.
you, God, for this
Praise. I like praise.
opportunity
Yep.
to actually have someone who wants to put up with my shenanigans. Because Lord, you know I'm a piece of work. You know. Oh, that's just my prayer. I'm sorry.
All right, Princeton Angel. One piece of dating advice, 5 words or less.
5 words.
I gave
Continue.
y'all time.
Listen though, like
He
Okay.
was listening to you.
Oh, yes, ma'am. uh, continue to love each other.
Oh, I like that.
Mm.
5 words, half a sentence, or a sentence.
no.
How you put it.
I think
Like,
I like that.
okay, I think I have it. Pray for discernment. And I feel like that's something that I'm like really learning at this stage of my life. But yeah.
All right. All right, for the audience and you guys. I want to see you guys drop in the comments, and then you guys can just tell me what's one quality every healthy relationship should have. One quality every healthy relationship should have. That's for my people in the comments and for my panelists.
Just one
Yes, just one.
that has to have faith.
Okay.
They gotta have faith. Because in those hard times, you need to be able to say, I know we're not seeing eye to eye, and I know that things don't always seem the way we think they should be. But if we both know we're going at this and we've asked God to ordain it, then we have to have faith that this is going to work. Faith for me, and even when it's good, faith that He's going to keep it going. Because nothing besides God's love lasts forever, right? That's what they say. But come on, comments. What y'all got? What y'all got out there?
I'll give the comments some time. Care. You actually gotta care what that person says. Because when you're talking like when you're actually trying to like have a communication, couples, they'll be like, my word, hey, my way or the highway, like the old saying goes, it's either my way or the highway. So you actually gotta have to care what that person's thinking and what they're feeling. Don't make it always about how you feel, because your feelings does care. Everyone's feelings care, especially in a relationship. But always care and just be there for them, really. Because not everybody. Sometimes it's not always that person's fault. You know, and then you blast at them and just lash out, all because you don't care what they say. You just don't want to hear what they say. So caring in a relationship is very important.
Yeah. Angel,
I might just say
Brandy.
patience. Being patient. Again, it's not our time, even though we have this plan of what we want to do. It's not our time, it's God's time. But just being patient with whatever the outcome is.
I feel like every other word that I can think of always just comes back to respect. And I feel like a lot of issues and things that people do would not happen if you just respected that person. I think respect goes hand in hand with love, because you can't truly love someone if you don't respect them as a person and like their ideals, their life, their, like respect is, I don't know, everything that I can think of always just goes back to that. Things would not happen a certain way if somebody just respected you. Like, and that comes with like honesty, love, caring. Everything that I can think of just goes back to that. So yeah.
Reverend Raleigh basically said the same thing everybody else said because she put 4 words. Our last thing before I get a text talking about time. Our
What
final
was your
takeaway.
word? Where's your word?
Oh,
Yeah,
word.
yeah.
Communicate. Y'all already said patience. Y'all said respect. Y'all said faith. All of this stuff. Mine is communicate.
Would you like to tell us how we can do that?
No, I would not. All right. So our final takeaway for the sake of time. Okay, in one sentence, what's the best relationship advice you can leave with someone today? Again, what is the best relationship advice you can leave with someone today in one sentence?
Don't give up and just keep trying to make things better. Now, I'm not, saying just stay in a whole bad relationship because sometimes it just don't work out for people, unfortunately. But I'm saying if there's a chance, go for that chance. If there's a chance y'all can actually stay together, then just don't be like, you know what, we had an argument, we're done. Just don't get mad off one or two arguments. Actually try to actually sit down and communication and all the other words you said. Actually try to use those words and actually try to talk it over and actually try to make the relationship strong. Do whatever you gotta do. To just go to marriage counseling or something. Just do what you gotta do to keep the relationship strong, and also just know that if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If it's not, it's not. God will even show you that. He'll show you meant to be. You know. So that's all I'll just say. Just stay strong. Just keep pushing to try to make the relationship as as long as it lasts and can last, and just keep it strong. Just keep it strong.
Um, Relationships aren't like just like any other relationship. It's not gonna be like always, sunshine and rainbows all the time. But also know and like believe like what are the normal ups and downs in being in something. I think sometimes people stay in things that they shouldn't have sometimes just because you feel like everything's not always going to be perfect, which is true. But you have to know when your limit is, and that it's okay to love somebody from a distance sometimes. So like, just know what you're supposed to be in, and like pray on it. Like talk to people about it and get other opinions about things. Because, like he said, everything if it's meant to be, it will be in the end. So don't force nothing and make it a certain way. Yeah.
I think for me, like I said in the beginning, like don't forget yourself and trust in God.
I have to answer this.
Um, I mean,
Okay. We're, understand that we're not perfect, so be patient. It's a learning curve for both of us. So we're not perfect. We're gonna make mistakes, but we can work through it.
I think for me, it would be know what you want first. Because you can't be in a relationship with someone else. Because sometimes what they want kind of interferes with what you want, and then you're just unclear on who you are, and it doesn't go well.
Yeah.
Well, I had a great time, some great laughs. And before we go, I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us today on another episode of the Pew and the Porch podcast. We hope today's conversation reminded you that healthy relationships begin with knowing who you are in Christ and treating others with the same love, respect, and grace that He shows us. If this conversation encouraged you, challenged you, or made you think a little differently, don't keep it to yourself. Like, share, and invite someone else to join the conversation. And don't miss out on what's coming next. So, we'll be live in Washington, D.C. Yay! During the Progressive National Baptist Convention on Monday, July 20th at 11 a.m. with a live audience. If you're not there in person, you can also join us here online, Facebook, Instagram, all the things above. We'll have our special guest, Dr. Francos, as we
Francois.
tackle Francois. Oh, this is
Francois.
French. I apologize, Francois. As we tackle a timely and important conversation titled "Faith in the Fire: Social Justice Through a Kingdom Lens." Together, we'll explore what it means to stand for justice, love, mercy, and walk humbly with God while living out our faith in today's world. You won't want to miss this powerful discussion. Until next time, real conversations, real faith, and real life. We'll see you on the porch. Bye.
Hi.